are at create a texture from polypaint, and after all that, we notice that this is pretty garbage and garbled here. But I did a projectile, so it's kind of already done. But next time when you do it, to make sure before you start cloning stuff and duplicating stuff, make sure everything is kind of clean. You can sculpt this out to kind of mimic the same texture. See a little bit of trouble here. Also, I didn't clone everything, so I'm just doing this really quickly. We'll maybe show you how to use the clone tool in Substance Painter to do a little bit better job of painting than what I've done. All right, so just make sure you've got this selected and you're at the highest division. So go to Geometry and just make sure you're at 5 or 6 or whatever you have. And that will give you the highest poly or the texture map that you need. So we'll just go ahead and clone texture right here. And then we're going to go to texture and we're going to go ahead and export that texture. And we're going to call it texture Zbrush. Right, so just so we know what that is, it's a JPEG. And we got 2K, which is fine. All right, so we're going to go ahead and hit save so you can see that. Now you could take that in Photoshop and clone it. Probably is not a bad way to do it either. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and hit escape to get out of that. We're going to go to our geometry and we're going to go ahead and export this as toy underscore HAG high, which is this is a 2 million, so it's going to be quite heavy. So OBJ, we're going to hit save. You see it's going to take quite a while because it's taking a lot of data, but we're going to use this high and low. We're going to bake it into Substance. So no now. Oh, we're still going. Taking a while. You can fast forward if you want. All right, that's good. All right, so now we're going to go all the way down to low division and hit export, and we're going to type in low. All right, so this should be really, really lightweight. Save. All right, so we've exported out our high and our low and also our texture. So let's go ahead and get into Substance Painter. We may break this into several tutorial. So I'm going to open up my Substance Painter. Okay, so you guys are going to import the low first. So we're going to go ahead and hit File, New. And we're going to PBR, just default with the alpha if you want. I'm going to go ahead and do 2K. And I'm going to select our mesh. So we're going to go Desktop, Scan Toy. Got our low object and hit okie dokie. All right, so now you're in a different interface like Maya. You can see all our garbage here. So definitely go in there and try to clean it up before that. We may even have holes in there. It looks a little bit different. So we should have worked on our Dynamesh a little bit more and cleaned that up. But it is our first model, so just do your best with what we got. All right, so one of the things we want to do is bake out our mesh before we go on. So we're going to go down here and bake a mesh type. So I'm going to go ahead and see, let's go ahead, bake our textures. Just going to go through, bake them all out, and also we're going to go into our settings here. Put this different than last time. All right, so now here in our mesh map settings, we're going to go in here and select our high. Hit open. All right, it's got that in there, and it's doing something on the bottom here. Now we're going to bake that. We should have baked that before. All right, so you can see that our normal maps are baked on there. So hopefully when we go back to return, we can see our normal map is baked on there onto this very, very light form. We still have all this garbage. That was my fault. I didn't clean it up in ZBrush prior to project all. All right, so we're going to go to our layers I'm going to throw this layer away and create a new one with the paint bucket right here. And I'm just going to scroll down here in our base color. So we're going to import our texture, that one that we had from exported out from Zbrush. Import resources, add, and we've got our, not our PNG, but our bump from our new UV. Should have saved that as a JPEG, but I thought we did. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and hit OK, and then we're going to identify it as textures, go to current session and import. All right, so now we need to see our texture list. Let's see if we can pull that up here. Let's go to Viewport, Display Materials. Let's see if we can click on here. Let's see, oops. All right, so we should be able to pull our resources. Let's get out of that. All right, so I need to show our assets. Let's pull that over here. So if your assets aren't showing, pull them over. All right, so we're going to go to our project, and we can see some of our stuff here, not everything. So we're going to go to Session. There's our texture. So we're going to, sometimes this stuff is missing, so you just have to kind of learn how to pull it out. So we're going to have our layer in our base color, and we're going to drag that down here. Hopefully it's flipped in the right direction. Whew, I lucked out. All right, so we have our texture here. Again, maybe in here in just a second, I'll show you how to clone that texture out. All right, so we have a little bit of black and white here. So let's go ahead and give it a shot. And if not, I may cut in a new video. So we're going to add our paint tool. Add black mask, and let's go ahead. And so you can use a selector, eyedropper. And I'm going to go right here, and then we can probably paint right onto that surface. All right, I'm going to delete that layer. Let's do it again. There's that. And I'm going to do the eyedropper again. I'm going to make a little bit smaller brush. And you can paint it like so. All right, there's also a clone tool, but probably easier just to use your eyedropper for right now. There's probably a hotkey for that, material picker, and then just keep painting. All right, so you want to do that. You've got a lot of things to clean up. You can also go in here and do it in the kind of a Photoshop mode. So just grab your color picker and paint away. So you can either do it in 3D. Probably easier to see some of this, and you can do multiple layers of this, so you can kind of cross blend it. You can also go here just like Photoshop and blend in two different colors, so if it's not matching. There's also the clone tool also, and I think you hit Alt to do a sample. This is a huge brush, so you can sample it, and I forget what the I think I just clicked on it, and then now I'm painting, so it's obviously not working. All right, so if you want to use that, there is that clone tool, and you can grab a section. I just use the color picker, grab RGB, and just paint, and then do multiple passes of that. All right, so I'm going to stop here, and then I'm going to show you how to export out your model once it's finished. Again, this is not finished. You can hit F to get your object into the center. All right, so lots to do to clean that up. You can also go in here, depending on your character or your object, you can go in here, play around with the roughness roughness slider. I'm not using my words right now. And then you can play around with this so it's not so shiny, because we know this Plushy is not shiny. All right, anyways, you know how to use your shift, move the light over the material to kind of get it where you want. All right, from there we're going to export it out, export mesh, export, and then we're going to go ahead within our scan toy. I'm just going to go ahead and call substance underscore painter, hit create, and call it toy plush, and it's going to make it an FBX, which is fine. Hit save. All right, and now what we want to do is export this out to textures. All right, so we have our output. These are all the settings for substance, everything from Blender, RenderMan to Unreal. So what we want, I always just learn, well not learn, show you guys how to go for Unreal 4 packed. I don't know why you don't have 5 yet. So packed, make sure you know where it's going. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my scan toy substance. I'll make a subfolder called texture. Just make sure you get into naming conventions instead of scattering it all over the place like I do. Hit open and hit export. So it should be pretty quick like that, and you should have all your textures related to that plushie. Again, make sure, oops, make sure you get the shininess off, get all the white dots and so forth to make it a good model. And that's it. Should only take you maybe one class to kind of clean up your scan data. All right, good luck.